Whose Turn Is It Anyway? A podcast all about our gaming group and the board games we love. I'm Becky and this is my last turn as first play for a little while, and today I'm joined by Tambo.
Hello.
Chris.
Hello.
And Rob.
Hi.
And also an interloper for a little while, JP.
Sneaky.
He snuck in, we didn't close the door quick enough, and here he is.
I told you not to record at my house. You can't get rid of me. You have to find a different location.
How is everyone today?
Really good.
Good.
Super.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit jangly, just got back from London.
Likewise.
As did JP, we happened to bump into each other on the platform. Not that we were realising we were going to go there at the same time.
No.
But yes.
It's like we had a secret rendezvous that we didn't tell Curly about.
That we didn't know about at all ourselves. So yeah, I'm feeling over-caffeinated and jangly. So
I'm
great.
just hungover.
So I guess if everyone's all good, let's crack on into it. So let's talk about Hex. What have we all been up to lately, board gaming wise? Rob, I'm going to start with you.
I've been playing Too Many Bones because, well,
Yeah!
it's amazing. JP put 3 events in. I managed to get in 1 and somehow ended up on all 3. And it's awesome. It's such a good game to the point where I'm seriously considering buying it.
Ooh, investing into the...
Yeah.
Into
JP's got the new poker chip health pile, which just makes it's so stupid having better quality chips.
No, mate, I agree with you. It makes all the difference.
But it feels so good.
It's not stupid, it's amazing.
Whatever justifies the purchase.
Absolutely.
But no, loved it. We had 3 games of varying campaign lengths. We went up against a boss that absolutely destroyed us one time, a long time ago. And we absolutely decimated him. So yeah, it was great fun. Really enjoyed it. And if I had one game to play for the rest of my life, I think it'd be Too Many Bones. It's
wow,
so
Descent has been blown out of the water then.
Yeah, it's so goddamn good.
Blimey.
Not that there's anything wrong with Descent, but it's just Too Many Bones. It's just fantastic.
Descent's cheaper. I'm not saying something because it's not a cheap game.
By about 800%.
Well, if you're going about the whole collection, it's definitely cheaper. But no, it's been good fun, isn't it? What tyrants do we go up? You have to remind me.
Leech.
He's a bit of a knob, isn't he, Leech?
Yeah.
So we managed to get him.
Yeah. That's the guy who decimated us the first time. Like, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, he killed us.
I can't remember the other two. It's
Volcash.
your game, dude.
Yeah, Volcash is the big dragon thing. We took him down. And then there's another one. I just can't remember.
It was great fun.
Yeah.
I'm determined to get on the next one.
I've still not played it either.
It's such a good game. Like, we played for 5.5 hours?
Something like that.
Wow.
Didn't feel that long. Really didn't feel that long. It was really good fun.
Cool. Well, it looks like me and Chris need you to put another event in then.
I'll prioritise you both. Oh no, I'm going to have to play it again.
Chris, how about you? What have you been up to?
I haven't been playing many games lately, but I have gone into Scythe a lot. I've been playing solo play. Just been trying to perfect one game rather than just doing lots of other games, and then
Fair enough.
just getting to know it really, and in the hope that I might be your good husband at some point.
Well, we all live in hope of that, mate. Yeah. I mean, I've not managed it so far, but...
Got a few wins, though, for other games lately.
Yes. Yeah. He isn't on such a winning streak.
No, he's fallen from grace.
Oh, right. This is a good time.
Do you know how much this drives him mad that we make out that he wins everything?
I don't win every time.
Because it's not true. It absolutely isn't true, but it's become the meta of our group. He wins everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I looked at the stats once. I think we...
Hang on, you keep stats on.
Yeah, I keep stats. Yeah. So I looked at like Terraforming Mars as an example, and then actually he doesn't have the highest win percentage on that. So yeah, it's just one of those things that we all say it. It's not true.
And we say it because it winds him up. Yeah, absolutely. Is it a really different experience playing it solo than playing it in a group, or is it pretty much the same game? Just
it is the same game. You're playing against the app, or to make it easier for admin and stuff and everything. Still takes quite a while, and you just still realise what you did wrong after. But it's just
about 3 turns later you realise where you were wrong.
I've found myself watching videos of people playing Scythe as well now on YouTube. I'm going in deep.
You're getting the...
I've watched
fair enough.
Maybe possibly the World Championships of Scythe as well.
That's a thing, right?
And then there is, and then there's this guy talking about his win and talking through his moves during the game of watching it and stuff. Yeah.
So you want to use that newfound knowledge and play a multiplayer game then?
Yeah, that, and I just got the little metal mechs now too.
It's about upgraded tokens. You're not the only one, Rob. Upgraded tokens is the way forward.
That was such a con. It's a con though, isn't it? The whole metal mechs.
Yeah, buying them.
Because you have to buy a set of one each, don't you?
Yeah, and then you have to get 4 of each.
You have to get 4 of each.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
That sounds like you need to go via Etsy or some other third party.
Or somebody with a 3D printer, maybe.
I wonder who that could be. Tambo, how about you? What have you been playing lately?
Yeah, so went on holiday this week, so my brother bought along a game called Apollo, which is a dice drafting game. It's good fun. Someone's obviously Houston,
Cool.
you know, NASA. So you have a like a board, a bit like your setups there, like, but you've got a board which has got the cockpit and you've got the 3 astronauts, and then you can have up to 4 players. So we just played a 2-player. So one's in Houston and one's the astronaut. You have 9 dice. You roll them, and then you put them on where the systems are getting all malfunctions, and then the guy from Houston just puts down the markers, and then he can't communicate unless he spends a token. So you've got to put a dice on there to grab communication tokens so he can talk to you and say what systems are bad, but he can only say certain phrases.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it's really good fun. I mean, I'm all into my space games anyway. Yeah. And every time you put a dice down, we did the orbit around Earth, first one, which is the smaller one, the smaller board, and then the shuttle moves. So when you put a dice down, the shuttle moves, and then you have to repair systems, you have to do tasks, which is all like getting large straights with the same coloured dice as 2 coloured dice.
Okay, so it's sort of like Yahtzee kind of, depending on what you roll and the groups you make.
That's
okay,
it. Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And then when you save the dice doing your missions, and you've got to do the missions in certain points before it gets around to a certain point around Earth, otherwise you fail. It's really, it was quite good fun. I wouldn't recommend it as 4-player though, because I can't. It'd be a bit like when we talked about Pandemic. If you just discuss where you put the dice, and if you're not a very strong player, you're just gonna
overruled by someone else.
Yeah, so it's best play 2-player. It's good
Cool.
fun. Yeah, no.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good fun. Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
How many times does someone say we have a problem? Or
Yeah.
Houston,
I said it once.
Yeah, but it's going to happen.
I said, Houston, we have a problem. Yeah.
You don't have to though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I finally got Ian to play a board game.
Yeah.
So he came round to ours and we played Ark Nova, just 2 players, because Curly was playing the new content of the World of Warcraft release thing on his PC.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Wrath of the Lich King, yeah.
What?
Yeah, some non-cardboard related game.
Analog gaming.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, me and Ian played a 2-player and he really enjoyed it, and I'd forgotten how well it plays as a 2-player because there's a lot less kind of contention for all of the stuff. And it meant that because he was learning it wasn't me that was holding the game up, so that was quite a nice experience for me. We were both being able to take our time, and having a bit of AP was all right, and that was really, really fun. I think I agree with you, Tambo, with this one. I still think the scoring is just too harsh. Yeah. It's just too polarised. Like
too sad.
Yeah, it makes you too sad. It does. So like when someone gets a minus score, it's just so
heartbreaking.
Yeah. And I think because I've played a few times, I should have absolutely wiped the board with him. But I think I've learnt a bit more that you need to kind of time your stuff a bit better. So I definitely improved on that. But it's still one of my favourite games. All those, pros and cons about it. It's still one of my favourite games. I really like it. And I played with the little giraffe pieces, which is nice because normally Curly's brother Jay plays with the yellow pieces. So I got to play with the yellow ones.
Oh,
and that was good.
I still haven't played it.
Well, mate, we can get it in the list. It's a good game. It's a really good game.
Watching the single tear roll down Tambo's face after talking about the scoring, I'm not sure I want to.
The thing is, the game end is triggered when you've got 2 different scoring tracks that are kind of going... that are going like a half circle.
Oh, okay.
One starts at one end, one starts at the other. When they meet in the middle, that's when the game is ended. Some people haven't even met in the middle yet, so they're going to get a minus score. And it's just... I think they should have invented a better way. However,
So it never bothers me because it's just the way the scoring works. But I get it. Like if you've done all that work and then someone's saying your zoo's shit because it's like minus 23 points, whereas other people are like, yeah, you won, it's 10 points. It's kind of weird because it's just not how we're used to kind of dealing with victory points in a game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, victory points in that game, it's not reflective of your kind of engine that you've built. It's reflective of who's timed the win.
Yes,
and when they time
this is it, and I definitely had definitely improved with that. Like I dragged it out another turn in order to get another lot of stuff, and that that really worked well.
Did you win?
I did.
Yay!
Ian, you suck.
It's because Curly wasn't playing, but there we are. It's fine.
Did he enjoy it, mate?
He did, yeah. He really liked it, and he said it was the correct level of crunchiness, which I thought it probably would be for him because I think we've got a similar level of enjoyment on crunchiness of games. So yeah,
Beautiful game.
Yeah, it is really good. So JP, how about you?
Yes, well, the reason why I've snuck onto your episode, and I will leave you to it, I promise. About 4 weeks ago, I got to play Lacrimosa, which is a game by De Vere Games, and basically got to play it before Essen happened. Obviously, Essen's behind us now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Completely behind us. It's essentially a game all about Mozart. And if anyone is up on their classical music, I am not. I'm going to butcher this completely because I didn't know anything about classical music.
So uncultured.
I know, but classical music to me is Metallica. That's classical music, like Master of Puppets.
I think that's a classic.
Oh, it's a classic, same thing. Right?
Yeah.
Of
course it is.
But Lacrimosa is I think it's his unfinished symphony he wrote or began to write before he died. And essentially the game is all about you appealing to his wife. It's a strange thing. Appealing to his wife, regaining kind of the stories of Mozart that you've had in the past, and obviously it's just a Euro game. It's just a tacked on theme. But essentially, you're kind of doing various different actions in the game, and it's got some really cool player boards. Like if you like your aesthetics in games, the player boards are like these books that open up. Ooh. And in the player boards, yeah, Becky's excited. In the player boards, you've got the 4 slots at the top, 4 slots at the bottom, where your cards slide in, literally into the board itself. Very exciting. Nice. And essentially, on your go, you pick two of your cards out of your hand of, 5, and then you put one on the top, put one in the bottom. The top one's your action you're going to do. The bottom one's the resources you're going to get at the end of the round for your production for next round. And you can do all sorts of different things like commission opuses, all the different songs. Call them songs. Pieces, yeah. I'm really doing Mozart down here, aren't I? These songs that he wrote. You can commission these pieces. You can kind of travel around Europe, which is like this communal Mozart token you use to go around and essentially get different tiles, etc. You can perform your songs, you can sell them. Call them songs again. Perform your pieces, you can sell your pieces. But yeah, it's typical Euro kind of style effect, done really well. And at the bottom of the board, it's got this really nice kind of like song sheet music where you can put your different tokens on the bottom. It's kind of like an area control thing going on there. But it's really good. Like once I was surprised because it's been getting a lot of kind of buzz in the industry, but it's very, very fun to play. It's perfectly midweight, so it's not too, oh my god, my head's gonna implode in on itself. It's just a joy. Like you can literally pick it up, and it's kind of amazing how quickly you can get your head around it, and off you go. So yeah, really enjoyed it. If you like that kind of classical music airy kind of stuff, I'm not seeing that theme in any board games before either, which is quite nice.
It does just go to show there is a theme that a board game company will not touch. Like everything is open. So.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if we can make up our own. If we can come up with some ideas.
Obscure.
Board game about doing a board game about a podcast about a podcast.
I'm sure there's a board game about podcasts if we look hard enough. I bet there is.
I'm sure.
Will you buy the game? That's the question.
Will I buy it? No, but I think...
Of course he will.
No. I'm not, and the reason is because Curly's going to, I think.
Hey, we're going to have it anyway, that's fine.
You know your husband is a big lover of classical music.
He is, yeah, to a degree. Yeah.
And I was talking to him about it, and he's like, ooh. So we're going to play it at GridCon.
Cool.
I'm going to hide it out for Saturday morning at GridCon, and I'm going to give it a go.
Excellent.
And he'll buy it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds good.
Nobody can see JP's face right now, but
I bought enough.
He's so smug that somebody else is buying a new game.
Yeah.
Talking about Essen, I've been watching quite a lot of the footage on YouTube of people's, trips there, and it makes me really sad. I really want to be there, but it's making me excited for hopefully, if we do like a little trip next year.
We've got hotels booked.
Yeah, but I haven't managed to book the annual leave yet because I can't book it yet. But it's happening.
Me and Robert go.
Yeah. But I have downloaded Duolingo and I'm starting to learn German, so I have to go because I need to be the one that orders the food.
Okay.
That's
Saves me a job.
Yeah.
There you go. So I'm on day 11 of learning German.
Cool.
So I can say useful stuff.
Awesome.
Wunderbar.
Yeah. Something I forgot to mention, we also received the big old storage box for Everdell.
Oh, it's
the other
huge,
day.
isn't it?
And it comes with the New Leaf and the Mistwood expansions. But the storage box. Oh my, it's an absolute dream.
More expansions.
Yeah. But it's the good thing about it. It's been really beautifully designed. Like they've really thought about it. Everything fits in perfectly, and it's like organised in such a way that you could pick which expansions you want to add in or ones you don't. It came just after I'd finished the night shift, so it was the perfect sort of sorting out nice thing to do with your brain that isn't too taxing, but fun. So really recommend. If anyone likes Everdell, the big old storage box it's worth getting. It's beautiful. And it does fit on a Kallax as long as your Kallax is slightly away from the wall. Because it is massive. It does. It is massive.
I've got games like that. It's fine.
Yeah. So that rounds up all that we have been up to the last little while. I guess we should crack on with the main topic.
And I'll love you and leave you.
Today we're talking about the game Unfathomable and its predecessor Battlestar Galactica, or BSG, which we'll probably refer to it from now on because
Much easier.
Battlestar Galactica is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So BSG was released in 2008 by Fantasy Flight Games. It's a hidden enemy semi-cooperative game set in the TV series sort of world Battlestar Galactica. Each player has their own set of skills available to them, and you have to kind of work together to expose the naughty Cylon, which from the middle point of the game there is definitely one of. You have to basically attempt to wheedle them out.
Bring out the bad guy.
Yeah, before they can manage to sabotage the mission. It's exactly the same in the new reiteration of the game, but it's now called Unfathomable, just with sort of different theming kind of tacked on, really, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Unfathomable is set in the Arkham Horror universe, like Mansions of Madness and Arkham Horror, that kind of thing. And this time you're on a steamship rather than a galactic spaceship, travelling from Britain to America, and the baddies are like Cthulhu, naughty sea monsters, as opposed to robotic Cylon people. So each player has like a turn, and you've moved, then a crisis card is revealed, and each player adds cards from their hand to resolve the crisis. Some of the cards will help and some can hinder, but because you add them face down, nobody else knows.
And 2 randoms are put in
This
as
is
well,
it,
aren't
yeah.
they?
So no one knows who's trustworthy or not, because you can always blame that, that card must have come from the random deck. Cue lots of accusations and finger pointing, usually at poor Tambo. Well, he has to defend his occasional innocence, because sometimes he's not bad. But
More often not in Battlestar Galactica, yeah.
So what are our first sort of thoughts about this game? Either or.
It's not even about the game, just the interaction around the table.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played a game that does it better.
No, I thoroughly agree.
Everyone has a little niggling distrust of everyone.
Yep.
And the longer the traitors can stay hidden, the messier this gets. The amount of times JP's been thrown in prison, or the brig, and actually he's done nothing wrong. I remember once he had a bad dice roll when he got put in the brig, because the dice rolled and a ship blew up. Like nothing he could do, complete random chance, and he was put in the brig. Yeah. It's just brilliant, and the accusations that fly around the table, and of course the more you protest your innocence, the guiltier
100%.
you are. Mm-hmm. And it's just the like I say, the interactions, the conversations around the table are just absolutely wonderful. I think the first time we played it, we finished at about 2:30 in the morning.
It was difficult because it was the first game I ever bought, and I was learning it, and we were all trying to learn it, and we were all not trusting each other.
It didn't help that we played Game of Thrones the game before that.
Was it? Yeah, we don't. A theme was coming out that we like those sort of hidden sort of things and backstabbing, and we do. And the weirdest thing, you carry on your injustices that have been done against you to the next game.
You hold on to them, absolutely. The grudges
to
linger,
the point
don't
where
they?
no one trusts anyone, even to make a cup of coffee for it. I do love it. And it has a special place in my heart because it was the first game I bought.
So what was it about it that made you buy it? Had you heard good stuff? Was it just the IP that you liked Battlestar Galactica, therefore you were buying it? What was it?
I'd like to say that I'd done all my research, but I'm a geek at heart, and I love Battlestar Galactica from the 70s when I would have seen it as a kid in the 80s.
Okay.
And then they revamped it in the early 2000s, I think. And yeah, I've always loved Battlestar Galactica, so I just bought it on a whim.
Okay.
And it's just luck that we've all taken it to our hearts.
Yeah. So the expansion, you're quite sort of famous for your Italian version that you found. So there wasn't an expansion. It went out of print. It was very difficult to get.
Well, there's free expansions as far as I know, and yeah, they all went out of print. You can get them for hundreds of pounds or hundreds of dollars if you're willing to go to America and get them and stuff. But I thought I was doing something, like trying to get around it. I bought an Italian version on Amazon for peanuts, thinking, because I'm a sign writer, I can make my own cards.
Yeah.
As long as I can find a screenshot of what the cards say in English.
How did that go for you?
Oh, but it went pretty well. It was an extensive search, took a long time.
Yeah.
And I made this beautiful refaced copy of the Italian version. There was a couple of little things which didn't translate over.
I don't remember it being a massive issue.
No.
Like you knew when you had an Italian card, but it wasn't really a problem.
Yeah, the biggest problem was that I'd forgotten to... In the separating of the two packs, in my neatly organising them in the different boxes, but then you had to merge the two to play the game, I'd left out some of the conflict cards. So that we played virtually a whole game.
Yeah, we remember that one.
Then no Cylons turned up.
And it turned out very difficult still.
Yeah.
Funny, even without the bad cards.
Yeah. I just think it added to the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Why was it so difficult?
Because you still have to do the event at the bottom. So
Okay.
every time, and then you still lose your food, your fuel.
Okay.
So we were still like in red, even we didn't have any encounters.
it was like a pacifist version of Battlestar Galactica. We were all happy.
Well, we stuck them at the bottom of the deck, didn't we? Had 4 cards left before we just shuffled them to make it fair, and then we lost. Thanks for that.
Chris, your game setting up skills are notorious.
What was the other one you forgot to do?
So that was the second one that you keep reminding me about. I don't know why, but yeah, the first time was round Rob's house on a beautiful
sunny day. We're playing in the conservatory, and we all decided it's too hot, so we all went outside. I played as a character that doesn't turn up until the second round. So I was on the barbecue, so I was cooking food while these guys were going around the table. And I think I declared as a Cylon.
I mean, we had maybe 3 hours of play where...
Oh, it was longer than that.
Where we were all enjoying the game, not trusting each other, thinking the worst, trying to play the game. When, yeah.
I declared... Chris declared, then JP said, well, I'm a Cylon as well, when there's only a maximum of 2 Cylons.
It depends on the number count, but in that game there should have been just 2, and I think it's just basically just one tiny little error.
One tiny error that is literally the whole game.
I basically sorted out you're supposed to put at the start of the game, you put a deck that's loaded with the 2 Cylons plus your normal people, you're not a Cylon cards, and I picked up the wrong pile.
So let that be a lesson to you all, guys. When you're setting up the game, make sure you pick the right pile.
But the thing is, even though that happened, we still had such a great time playing it, and it was so much fun. Obviously, all the accusations flying around the table, and it was still really, really good fun. But how many times have we played it, and it's come down to, we've literally just gone dice roll at the end. Because it is so close as to what's going to happen.
Balance. Whether it's down to the crap play, but it's just...
but still.
Or just the fact that we're just so focused on trying to put people in the brig when they're totally innocent.
Because you can jump early, but you have to roll a dice to see what you would...
So whether you move forward into the next...
But also resource.
Whether you lose a resource.
You can jump early and you roll a dice. And I've played 2 games where it's come down to, if it's 3 or below, the Cylons win. And if it's, sort of 4, 5, 6, The humans
human
jump, and
and
we've
win.
played,
Yeah.
we've played 2 games like that where it's literally come down to a dice roll at the end. Every time we've played it, it has been a very well balanced game.
Yeah, I think that's one of its real strengths, isn't it? It isn't absolutely the most difficult game ever, like Mansions of Madness sometimes can be. Yet it isn't a complete walk in the park. You almost know you're definitely going to win. I think that's really a really good sign in a semi-cooperative game that it does get quite close to the wire.
Someone wins, but just not everyone.
Yeah, not necessarily the goodies.
It's a good point as well when you play the game, just so we know. It's a good point to get a good aspect of different characters, because every character has a different ability, don't they? So, like, Starbuck's a pilot, so it's always good to have a pilot.
Yeah, I mean, in the setup stuff, it tells
you choose your
to have
characters as a team.
Spread of the political ones, the fighters, the
leadership.
leadership.
There's the Admiral, he has the nukes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's always good to have the nukes so you can fire it and destroy some Cylon ships. Then you've got an engineer who fixes the ship. Very important.
There's only one engineer.
Only one engineer. I can't remember the characters' names. I'm not that into.
Whereas I think that's one of the benefits of the Unfathomable version. I think things are a little bit more balanced because you've got other kind of roles involved in that game where so you can kind of pick whichever ones you like and it'll sort of work.
As well.
Yeah,
Balance,
so I think maybe Battlestar Galactica does kind of really rely on a fairer distribution of characters.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
but maybe that's
just
because
helps. You do it with all the kind of characters, but it's just always
But
when
if
you
the
play it a
engine-
lot. You know you need a good spread.
yeah.
If you play as the engineer and you're a Cylon and you're not fixing anything,
Great.
like that can severely hinder the game.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Unfathomable, they've done a really good job with the classes.
Yeah. So
That it's not too overpowered in one direction, and that like they can do other things.
Yeah.
They might not do it as well, but they can do it.
everybody can fix stuff, and I think that kind of makes it a little bit less, kind of divisive on. Oh well, if you're going to pick that character, I have to pick this one. So then that's kind of good.
Yeah.
I think I really like the kind of spacey artwork in BSG. That's really cool. But I think the Unfathomable artwork is they've done a really good job of making that very beautiful, and the miniatures are really cool.
Yeah.
If you like, I mean, I don't really care about miniatures. I would rather have a cheaper game and not have plastic miniatures. But I know I'm very much.
Pretty sure they're called the deep ones, aren't they?
They are,
Yeah,
So you got the deep ones.
Deep
You've
ones
got
are the little lizard men, aren't you?
yeah,
And then-
Mother Hydra and Father
Father.
Dagon or something.
Yeah,
So
Dagon,
these
yeah.
are big, massive miniatures. So maxi minis of these kind of
really miniatures,
No,
are
not
they?
really. There's nothing miniature about these.
No.
They're kind of big old hulking sort of horrible sea monster.
They are about the size of the mug, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They are
massive.
massive.
Like a
Yeah.
coffee mug. They're
Yeah.
about the size of
Yeah.
that. They're huge.
I think it's a game that doesn't involve a lot of setup other than Chris's kind of make sure you pick the right pile setup. I think it is easy. It's not got loads of things you have to sort out, It's not like a, I don't know, Twilight Imperium where you're going to spend all morning setting up the game.
Yeah.
It's fairly quick to set up and it's fairly quick to take down, which I think is quite a...
Massive plus.
yeah, which I think is good. I can't think how much Unfathomable retails for, but it was quite expensive. But I remember thinking, well, for lots of miniatures, that's probably okay. Like I said, I would always rather
It's
spend.
under £100 though.
Yeah. I think it might be like 60 quid.
I was going to say about 60.
Yeah,
60,
something like that.
maybe.
Something like that. So I think, that's still a lot of money, but the amount of hours of fun you're going to get out of that 60 quid is definitely worth it. So maybe one day they'll make non-miniature versions and just have little standees, but I doubt it. I doubt it because they love their miniatures.
Yeah.
Fancy
Yeah,
Flight
they're really
love
good.
their
They
miniatures.
are really good quality
They
as
are,
well.
yeah.
They're not,
Yeah.
yes, you're paying the money for them, but they are good quality.
Yeah.
They look fantastic.
Yeah. I imagine we'll have expansions available at some point
I'd imagine so.
because that was kind of the point of the
Yeah.
reprinting, wasn't it? Otherwise
Yeah.
they wouldn't have bothered, I guess.
So maybe different stories, different
Yeah.
things. I don't know.
Yeah.
But usually these things come with expansions at some
Of course
point.
they do. Just because JP had cried if they didn't.
Exactly. But also, one thing they did very well in Unfathomable is that you can actually target the evil player.
Yes.
You can't kill them, but they get sent to the medical
Yeah,
bay.
I do think it's harder, isn't it?
You can
playing
damage
as-
them, can't you? And then they go
Yes,
to
yes,
them,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas you couldn't do that in Battlestar. You couldn't
You
attack.
just send them to the brig, couldn't you? And that was it. That's the way you can slow them down.
Yes.
Until they've said they're the Cylon, then they go off the board anyway. So
Yes.
their own
Whereas
decision.
that's the
That's the difference.
Unfathomable. That they obviously they're a cultist.
Yeah, they stay on the ship and wreak
but
havoc.
they stay on the ship, so
Yeah.
you've got to kind of deal with that as well as all the other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
What happened last time? Curly had 2 pistols and just kept shooting us all.
Sounds like
that's
him.
about right. You just loved every minute of it.
But I quite liked it. I was also we still say Cylon, don't we?
Yeah,
Even when
yeah.
we're playing Unfathomable, we still
we'll
say
say
Cylon
Cylon.
because it's just part of the game, isn't it now? And I think I'm not very good at that kind of lying thing.
Oh, you did
And
okay.
well, maybe that time, but normally, convincingly, I'm not very good. So
I think it helped you that we got Ian out on turn 1. We've spoken about this already. Ian unfortunately got outed very, very quickly, but that kind of helped you to stay hidden.
Yes, absolutely.
Because all our focus was kind of it was in the back of our minds that somebody else is probably a cultist.
Yeah.
But of course, because it enabled you to stay hidden for a lot longer, and you caused a lot of havoc by playing I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yes, so there is definite pros about.
And we all believed you as well, which is the infuriating thing.
The trouble is, we'll never believe you again.
Yes.
You won that game, didn't you?
Yeah, and the time we played it second, when I played with Curly, me and him were baddies, and we won that
the first
time.
one you didn't know.
No, but almost,
even that was close.
It came very close. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. So maybe I'm taking on the mantle of Tambo's always the Cylon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's because I'm not that bad. I mean, one time I did well.
So even you're saying that, I don't believe you.
So be warned, guys. This is what it can do to your gaming.
It leaves lasting scars.
Paranoia.
I think it's one of its strengths and its sort of weaknesses is that it really depends on who you're playing.
We're all sitting around this table smiling, though. That's the thing. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
It is
So
good fun.
it's no good for anyone who doesn't feel comfortable with lying to their friends or being accused of lying or feeling that kind of pressure. And I think we've got people in our group that are like that, and I think Unfathomable or BSG is just not for them.
The thing is, though, you know it's in good humour. It's about the game. If you're sat around a table with 6 people and they're all picking your character flaws apart, that's maybe a bit different.
Yeah.
But because it's in the context of a game, it's fun.
Yeah, for some people. But I could imagine how if you didn't like that kind of conflict and sort of the pressure of having to keep things under wraps, that is difficult.
I think everyone
but we
to a
like
degree.
it.
No,
We
but I
like
think
it.
everyone to a degree likes having a secret that they can try and get away. It's thrilling, isn't it?
Yes.
When you put that card in that you know is going to hurt people, and you're just sat there like, oh, it wasn't me.
I mean, it's slightly disappointing when you get the cards at the start of the game and you're told you're not a Cylon. Then you realise, oh, I can't play that hidden role.
It's a little bit like, but it is fun because you get, it is a whole sort of us against them sort of thing, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah, I think I don't know how well it would be for colourblind people, just bringing some of its cons in. I know that sounds really weird, but maybe it's because I always have the board facing the wrong way for other people, so I'm very much looking at the colours rather than because you've got stats for things. So like in Unfathomable, it's strength, influence, law, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they are a particular colour. So strength is red and influence is orange, and they're very close to each other in colour in a slightly dimmed room. So we've gotten around that by just calling it muscles, which is strength. It's a little picture of kind of muscles, or handshake, which is the kind of influence logo. So I think because you're very much relying on right now, what is the good colours? Oh, red one, purple one, and green one for this one. It's really important that you know which ones are good and which ones are bad. Maybe you can use that to your advantage if you're the secret Cylon.
I mean, we've had lots of votes when it's in Battlestar version of it, where you're putting in the reds and the greens and the blues and to meet the target you have to get, and then you know that there's obviously that hand where there's 2 cards that might not be helping you from the
random sort of thing. Yeah.
But then the Cylon or the occultist is putting in something to put you off. But then that just because the colours are different, so similar, it's another thing for them to point at and just say, "Oh, I didn't realise."
Yeah,
and it just shows more.
Which is fine when you're doing it on purpose. But if it's similar to like the law is purple and the blue is will. So again, I just call them books and brains because it's just easier for me to look at the little pictures. So I think if someone has got an issue with colour blindness, actually that might be really difficult, and they might need to sit somewhere that they can actually see the icons. It's just something that I thought about that. Maybe doesn't affect most of the population, but I wouldn't like to think that anyone was left out of this game because it's so good.
The thing is, when you're going around doing a skill check, how many times is right? So what's good? How many times is that said when you're going round?
Yeah, so I think maybe that actually is a bit of a weakness of the game. Maybe they need something a bit more. I think it's more
our concentration spans that we can't remember.
Okay,
that
maybe
red and blue are good. Like, when you've been playing it for a few hours.
Maybe. So do we think we should buy Unfathomable if you already own Battlestar Galactica? What would your opinions be on that?
I'd say yes, personally, because if you like that game, if you like that type of game, you're going to love Unfathomable.
Yeah.
It's different enough that it's not a straight... I get that it's a reskin of a game, but they have changed it enough where it's brought in new elements and enough different elements to make it feel like a different game with the same...
same hat.
Yeah, exactly. I don't own either. Mainly because you bought Unfathomable. Otherwise, I would have bought it.
Which one would you have bought then? Having not owned any of them, if you were going to buy one, which one would you get?
This hard because we've had so many good experiences with Battlestar.
Yeah.
I think, like Kris said, if the expansions were available...
Yeah.
Battlestar was available, mate. It's not available. That's the
exactly.
Thing,
so I personally would go for Battlestar. Mm-hmm. Only because of the experiences that we've had.
Yeah.
But if somebody's listening to this and thinking, shall I pull the trigger on that purchase and hadn't played Battlestar? Absolutely. Absolutely. I accidentally sold it to someone at UK Games Expo. While we were walking around, these guys were looking at buying it. And I just popped in and said, I literally just walking by and I was like, get it. And they were like, what?
Well, Unfathomable or Battlestar?
Unfathomable.
Did you get your commission?
No, they asked me if I worked for the publisher. I was like, no, but our guys have got it and it's so much fun. I was like, if you can get 5 people around a table with 6 people, get it. It's fantastic.
Kris, would you buy Unfathomable? Do you think it's worth it? So yeah. So for you, the IP makes it worth it?
I just love Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. And I've read up on the expansions for the Battlestar sort of thing, and I'm not sure if they actually improve it. They changed the gameplay and stuff and all that, but it's just my
your favourite.
It's a favourite place in my heart. Really. But I do enjoy Unfathomable.
I think it helps if you really like the series of Battlestar.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a big fan of the series, you're going to want to buy Battlestar Galactica, isn't it?
Yeah. So I watched it. I watched it all when I was a kid, when it was very clunky, badly made sci-fi with toasters, as they were called, as the Cylons, which were just big metallic things, and then soaked up when they remade it in the 2000s. They made it sexy.
Is that why you bought the game, Kris? Is that why you bought the game?
And it was a series. It had 5 series in the end, and it finished. It had a start, a middle, and an end, and it finished. There was no
sequels
rebooting
or whatever.
And it was a brilliant story. And I'm not going to spoil it because I would highly recommend anyone go and watching it. I think you started watching it, Rob, didn't you?
Well, I played the game before I knew anything about
Me too.
Battlestar.
Same here.
The only thing I knew about was the girl in the red dress.
Yeah, I mean that's a draw you in sort of thing.
Yeah,
for the teenage male.
But I knew nothing about it. So after we played the game and had such a good time, I started watching it, and then I can't remember what happened, but I just kind of stopped watching it. I think we moved house and we were without broadband for 3 weeks. Yeah. So that's why. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
So the kind of inverse IP thing. So you really liked the game, therefore you went and watched the...
Yeah, I think it just made a bit more sense if you knew some of the characters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's a reason, like I was saying, the guy that I was playing didn't turn up until round 2 because he doesn't come into it until series 2.
Yeah.
So that thematically made sense.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's not an essential knowing who these characters are because characters in the series that were Cylons that didn't know they were Cylons doesn't matter in the game.
Yes, because you may or may not be a Cylon anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So it kind of led me to watching the series rather than the other way around.
Tambo, would you buy Unfathomable if you already owned Battlestar Galactica, or if you had to pick one, which one would you go for?
I think it probably would be Unfathomable for me, but I'm a big Arkham Horror fan, so But I just think it gives a few more aspects better. Than Battlestar. I love Battlestar anyway, so it's a hard one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely probably would buy Unfathomable. The fact that you can just have equipment in Unfathomable makes it quite more exciting. You find guns and different weapons and grenades you can throw in the water. It just makes it more fun.
Yeah. I think it's probably I'm probably in your camp as well. If I didn't own either, I think I'd buy Unfathomable, but that is probably just because the expansions are more accessible, like you were saying, Rob. And I think maybe if looking at a greyish sci-fi Star Wars, not Star Wars, but things that are set in space thing, if that might slightly put someone off, perhaps you can lure them in with Unfathomable instead. Not that I'm not interested in spacey stuff particularly, but I love terraforming Mars, so things that involve space aren't a barrier for me necessarily. But if you don't want to fall down that, trope of nerdy sci-fi stuff, maybe Unfathomable's the one for you.
Oh yeah. Unfathomable is like the polished version of Battlestar.
Yeah.
Which it would be because it's later released and they already knew the game. So
I guess they've just had a chance to change things. What would you change about the revamp? Anything if you think...
A few more spaceships.
Put it in space. That's right.
So you'd put it back in space. Okay. I think I would just not have the minis. I'd have standees because I don't care about minis. And if it's going to cost a tenner less, I'd rather go for that. But that's probably just me. Would you change anything about it?
No, I don't think I would. I like I said, I think it's great as it is. There's nothing bad about it. And like I say, most of that game though is about player interaction. It's not about. It is about the game, but it's not like it's half of it is about the game.
Yeah.
Which is weird to have a board game where only half of it is about what's going on the table. It's more what's going on around the table. And no, I wouldn't change a thing about it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yourself?
I agree. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I like the artwork. I like everything about it, really. So I think we're basically telling everyone to buy one or the other, aren't we? Really.
And considering you can only buy one,
it's relevant. Yeah.
So go out there.
Unless you want to spend hundreds of pounds.
Buy Unfathomable.
Or I could buy Unfathomable and then re-sticker it with some pictures I found on the internet.
Perhaps that's your little niche there, Kris. Yeah. Unless anyone can ever think of anything else to say about Unfathomable, I think we've pretty much covered it.
Yeah, no.
Cool. So it's time for our questions, and we always need you guys to write in, please, and give us some questions, because we're currently still using ones from mostly people from our group. So we'd really like to open it out there to everyone, and there will be lots of ways you can do that, which we'll list at the end of the show. So currently we've got another question from Stuart. Thank you, Stuart. You're keeping this little section alive. And it's a bit of a lighter question for the group. And what is our single biggest influencing factor that got us hooked in gaming and coming back for more?
JP.
Not allowed to say JP.
Well, that is all our answer, really, isn't it?
Praise be our leader.
Yeah. Commander JP and his vast array of games.
I came from sort of video games. I still play a lot of video games, and so for me it was about player interaction. It was about the guys around the table. It was, guys that I played online with that I never really saw. And when we started playing Arkham Horror, I got to see these guys and sit around the table and have a really good laugh. And then we started playing the bigger games, the Battlestar, the Game of Thrones, and just everyone around the table was just so nice to be around.
That's really nice.
It's true though. Like as sad as it is, like T, how
so.
often did I lived with T back in the day. How often were we seeing each other before
so
gaming?
old, back in the day.
It was like 15 years ago. But we play Xbox together, we chat, but we never, unless we did like a movie night or something like that, or God forbid, we actually went out in town.
Yeah.
We very rarely saw each other. Now, we see each other 2-3 times a month.
Yeah, no, we haven't. Yeah.
And same with Kris, and I met Curly, Ian, Kris, at the gaming group, and we all kind of got on pretty much from the start. And because we had the focus on the game, it was really easy to talk to people because you're talking about the game, and then obviously it just kind of went from there. So for me, it wasn't even about the game that we were playing, it was about the guys around the table. You know, my worst moment was probably the Captain Sonar moment.
Yeah.
But that's
in this very room.
Yeah, but that's because you couldn't do the thing you like to do.
But it was
really.
still so much fun, and that's probably the most stressed I've ever been in my life, and it was still funny, like, you know, because of the guys that were around the table.
Yeah.
So for me, it's you know, meeting up with people, and sort of catching up and playing games.
Nice. Well, that's very heartwarming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very heartwarming. Chris, what's yours?
Mine's exactly the same. I've not got a massive social group that I see and stuff, and this just is a bit of fun, bit of escapism from humdrum life and work and all that sort of stuff. And it's just you can just lose yourself for a few hours. Yeah,
I guess maybe in times gone by, people may have been more likely to say meet down the pub or something like that. And I think it's really nice that...
I don't think anybody around this table...
And that's kind of what
pandering very much to stereotypes.
Well, that's what I was going on to say. And I think that kind of something you did after work, going to the pub, it isn't really something that people do so much anymore.
No.
So it's kind of replacing that getting together around a table and all right, you've got to focus because you're playing a particular game or whatever, but it's like you just said, it's all about the stuff that goes on round the table that is what we're interested in having, isn't it? That kind of social interaction in a maybe semi-formal way, which means that the pressure's off.
Yeah.
And that's...
And I want to win something.
You want to win.
Something.
Okay, fair enough. That's another good addition.
I have one win to my name, I believe.
No,
maybe two.
We've won Battlestar a couple of times because both me and you were the Cylons for the first two games, and we won them both.
That wasn't to do with my stacking the cards at all.
No, it wasn't. No.
There's a viticulture I won.
Okay.
Total by fluke, first time thing, and there was a Game of Thrones too, which was done on a technicality on the last rule of the last thing, and those are the 3-4 moments of my life I will remember.
So you're chasing the high, and then you felt it once, and you need to get. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's fair enough. Tambo, how about you?
I think it's before my first game with the gaming group. I have to say it, but I'll eat my tongue later. It's like I was just playing Monopoly and all these basic standard board games. And then when I came in, my first game was the first edition of Mansions, and I thought, wow, what a game. I thought there must be so many different kind of board games out there. So one of the really big things that keeps me hooked is all the different board games we get to try.
Oh, okay, the variety.
The variety and the whole different, like you said, there's an aspect on anything, like animals or zoos, like, you know, walking dogs, birds, you know, there's so many different things you can play. Yeah. And there's just so much good. And it makes you think what I actually really enjoy. What I found out, spaceships, all the space games, fantastic. Yeah, so if I wasn't in this group or playing board games, I would never known it was well there, to be honest. And that's the whole thing. Now my collection's pretty getting there. I've got like 3 shelves full of games in my room.
You're extending your house.
I'm not extending my house, but it's a dining room, but it's kind of going to be a gaming room.
It's not a dining room, it's a gaming room, blatantly.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think that's it. It's just trying playing different games all the time and going back to playing the games you love as well, and the interaction with people. Exactly what you guys just said. Yeah,
and I guess mine is a similar thing. So I've known Curly for I was very young at the time, about 17 or something, so we've known each other for a very long time, and it was something that when we got married we realised that we had very similar sort of singular hobbies. So he likes a lot of kind of computer gaming, I like kind of hobby stuff, making things, fabricating stuff, designy things, which are very singular hobbies. So we realised that it was really important that we did something that we could do together. Neither of us are drinkers, neither of us are going out in towners, and we just thought, we started playing like Catan, I think he bought Catan, I think he bought Carcassonne, and we realised that this was something that we could make time for and both enjoy. All right, then neither of our favourite games now, because we've definitely gone on to bigger, more advanced games, him far more than I have. And I think it was just something that you can do it in order to designate a bit of time to spend with the people you love. And that might not be your partner, it might be your big group of friends, it might be, I don't know, anyone you like, your kids, whatever. It's a really good way of earmarking time to do something together that you can...
With your husband?
Yeah, I know. I mean, can't help it. He's lovely, isn't he?
Oh.
Even though he bloody wins all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and he still always bloody wins all the time. But, well, he definitely does when it's just a two-play with me and him. Except for Rummy Cub. I beat him at Rummy Cub, and he doesn't want to play anymore.
Funny
that, isn't it? But it isn't really, it is too much random luck. You're picking out of a bag, and that is not going to be his favourite thing, is it? But, you know, I take games to work now to play on night shifts. It's the kind of job I do. You have to be able to drop everything and run away quickly. Whereas things like Rummy Cub, like Cockroach Poker, like Anomia, you can drop quickly and you can just, and it doesn't matter. You know, you haven't had to set up a game for 5 hours like Twilight Imperium or something. It doesn't matter if someone knocks the bits on the floor. You could just kind of get on with it, really. So, yeah, I think playing games has really, I don't want to say changed my life like it's some kind of massive drama, but it's just, I definitely added another facet. And I realised during COVID how much I missed meeting up with all you guys and playing games. And that was really nice that we all then got to do it again. And we still do it now, all the time.
Sat in your garage freezing.
Yes, we were.
Dedication,
It wasn't even a garage.
It was a
It's
carport, yeah.
carport.
Garage that didn't even have a
God, that was so
wall.
cold and it was so much fun.
It was, wasn't it? It was. And I think interaction is the common thing with all of it. Like the variety that Tambo, you were saying. It's only good because everyone's playing and everyone's having a different, different experience each time. Oh, how heartwarming.
It was.
It's just all a bit nauseous now and go and vomit. But I think probably everyone that plays board games, apart from maybe your very competitive people that are just playing in order to achieve mastery of craft and want to be good at something, like that particular game. So maybe other than those, probably quite small section of the gaming sort of.
There's an element to it. Everyone wants to win when they're playing a game. Like, you know, especially games that go on for, you know, sort of 3-4 hours.
That you've invested time in.
Yeah, you want to win, but if you lose and you enjoy the time with the people, then it's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
Everyone's a winner.
Exactly.
Oh. And it's all about participation, right?
No.
Not if you're a Cylon.
So it's time for our penultimate turn and things that we've got kind of lined up in the pipeline and ready to be enjoyed soon. I'm still looking forward to playing Astra when it eventually arrives. There's still no date on it yet, which is a bit upsetting. So the main thing I'm looking forward to is the Zuuli expansion coming out. Hooray! No one's interested in Zuuli apart from me because you haven't played it, but when you play it, you will like it, I think anyway. It is a little bit like... No, it's nothing like Ark Nova, but it is a little bit like, you know, deciding how you're going to make your zoo. You can change it around. And you've only got 3 turns, and it takes 15 minutes. It's really good, quick.
It's another zoo thing.
It's another zoo thing, but it isn't really as... you've got animals, which are of a fairly small number of different varieties, but the expansion pack that's coming out now, which was my very first Kickstarter game... What's it called? Game Found, that's it, not Kickstarter, Game Found. Yeah, so it's my very first backing of something. I was very excitedly did it within the first half an hour of it coming out, and then was watching the pledges go up to make sure it, because I would have bought multiple copies if it looked like it wasn't going to happen. But I think it reached something like 200% of what it needed, something like that. It was definitely going to happen, which is really cool. So I'm really looking forward to that coming out. And we're going to be playing Lords of Waterdeep next week. And I love that game.
So good.
It's just so good. I have been playing it on the PC. No,
is it on the PC?
I take that back. It's on Steam, and it's a Mac. So all those PC and Mac people out there can have the little battle. It's on Steam. It doesn't matter what it's on, and it's on there.
Oh,
it's really good. Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, would recommend. Yes. Tambo, what have you got coming up?
So I did a Kickstarter thing now, but it's my new gaming table, which I'm looking forward to. That's the Ironside table. It's called. It's quite a cheaper one version. It's only like $499 for the actual table.
And shipping is $499.
Yeah, we're getting shipping. That's probably that's a different thing. But so I'm looking forward to that. It's metal, so it's not wooden, and you can choose your colour. And when you start buying all your extras, this is what it goes up to. So it's totally. I've spent about £1,200 on it.
Whoa!
$1,300.
Wow!
Whoa! So it's $400-500 for the base thing. What have you bought?
Right. So there's stages you got the extension for it. So it's the base table's only four seater.
Okay.
So I've got the extension to it. So you literally, as it's all metal, you just plunk in two sides, so it makes it like an 8-player sitter. And
Wow.
then you've got the wooden planks that go on, the oak planks that go on top to make it a dining table.
Nice.
That's extra. So I had to buy the extra for the extended so I can have it stayed out as 8 people. So it's constantly done as the big one.
Yeah.
And I've kind of bought some little, actually, like probably Becky would go. And I've got these lovely little fluffy armrests that go on top.
Oh, nice.
Nice to on top, right?
Are they washable?
Yeah, I think so.
It's taking a turn again.
This is wait.
It's always when Kris is here.
How intense we get when we're playing games. You know, like sweaty arms on.
Yeah.
Sweaty arms.
And then
that's
the
what it
mats at the bottom, so when you JP's, is it blue underneath? No, red on JP's, isn't it? But on this one you can buy different mats. So we've got one that's like Mars, sky,
is. Wow.
water. So you've got all different, and space. So you can have different mats for the games you're playing if you wanted to. So I kind of bought a few more mats, but I had to buy the extended one for the big table, right?
Of course. So
And the stripper pole's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, and I bought the mat holders that hang up on the things. So you put all the mat holders in, so it kind of keeps it every tight. The planks as well have little legs that screw in, so you can have them as side tables.
Hey,
Or
wow.
you can put them on the table so they rise up, so you've got a second platform on your
They
table.
really thought about this, haven't they?
Yeah, it's really quite good.
It sounds
And
like a
it's-
Kickstarter with all the extra
yeah,
pledges.
and they pledged. It's all pledged now. It's done. They made 4 million on it or something.
Wow.
That's huge. Yeah, because obviously it's a sign for people like
So-
cafes and stuff. People buy them. And
Of course, yeah.
So you've got this table.
Yeah.
You're extending your house.
Yeah.
When are we moving in?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Rob's already alluded to living with you, so
Yeah. So that's not coming to July if all goes well. You know,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. But that's very exciting.
Wow.
Awesome, dude.
Nice purchase. Kris, how about you?
well, I bought the Japanese Battlestar Galactica, and I'm going to spend the next 4 months trying to decipher it. No, I've signed myself up for Civilization on this Friday,
Cool.
which I've watched some videos, and my brain is melting.
Well, it's
And
got lots of tokens.
I'm literally panicking.
You're a cold sweat.
Yeah. And I go around Tambo's tomorrow night to play this dog.
That's
themed
actually
game.
JP so
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But yeah, dog park. Yep. That's really fun.
Dog walking game.
Dog
Looks
walking
really
around
good.
the park. Yeah, it's another Kickstarter I did. Yeah, Bidwood Games. Yeah, it's very, very, very. You'll be fine. It's very basic. It's like, yeah, you do it for.
Do we need to bring our dogs with us?
You can if you want to make it realistic.
Oh, bring Poppy.
But we say walkies a lot, so it might confuse them.
Poppy's banned from Jeffy's house
Ah, okay.
after a few indiscretions.
But she pooped on the carpet.
She pooped on the carpet, and then I brought a present round to say sorry for Poppy pooping on the carpet, and then she proceeded to wee on the carpet whilst I was giving that present over. And in the same evening, she then tore up part of the carpet, which I think you can see the thread of it now. So I've not brought her round since.
Disgraced
She is
herself.
literally in the doghouse.
So you're looking forward to playing that, but Poppy's not invited.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I'm actually going to be reenacting or trying to live out the Jaws game, which I'm not sure if you guys
Yeah,
play.
we've got Jaws. I love it. It's great.
I love it
I
too.
bought it after playing at yours.
Yeah. Me and JP are going surfing on Sunday.
Wow.
Nice.
Look at that.
So
Happy days.
look for the headlines about being eaten by sharks in deepest Devon.
Rob. how about you?
After your incredible tenure as player one, I'm excited to take over the reins. Excited and nervous because I'm terrible at organising anything. So trying to organise the next 4 podcasts. It's been a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But
Well,
It's
yeah.
alright. You'll have JP bossing you all the time.
that is true. That is true. And to be honest,
where is the set? Ready? Go.
I am welcoming his directional leadership to it. But no, very excited. Got some topics that I quite like to talk about. So it should be good fun.
Cool. That leads on beautifully onto our final turn. So with this episode finished, my turn as first player has come to an end, like Rob has just said. I'll be handing over the title to him. And yeah, you've got some cool episodes.
Yes, I'm
lined
sorry,
up.
guys, if the podcast numbers suddenly drop. I apologise now.
Sure, that is absolutely not going to happen. So until next time, I want to thank my fellow players around the table here and all you guys for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe and review on your preferred podcast player, and please get in touch with us and send us your questions or comments or anything else you want to tell us. You can do that by emailing us at players@whosturn.co.uk, or you can get to us via our Facebook page on Whose Turn Is It Anyway podcast. We've also got Instagram at Whose Turn Podcast and TikTok at Whose Turn Is It Anyway. We'll be back again in 2 weeks with Rob with another episode. So until then, whose turn is it?